Dear children, this is the second module of today's session. In this session, we are going to discuss what are all the steps to create or use a data file. The first one is opening, second one is performing read and write, third one is closing. My dear children, before accessing a text file, it must be opened with its file name and the file mode. And then we can perform either reading or writing. Then after reading and writing, we need to close it. Let me explain in depth about opening a file. File can be opened for either read and write or append. Append in the sense, it has to be joined with the existing file content. Look at the example or the syntax which I had given in the screen. File object, that is the object we need to use in our program. File object equal to open file name, or it is having another syntax. File object is equals open file name comma mode. Default mode is read. If you are not giving any mode, the file is opened for reading. That means getting data from the file to the program. This is the example. Here story.txt. Story is the file name. txt is the extension. That is text file. txt. Then if it is already present in the same folder, .py file is stored, then we can use the syntax like story.txt. If sometimes if you are storing this file in some other location, we need to provide the full path for the file. It will be easy if you are opening a file which is stored in the same folder which is having .py files. Otherwise, you need to give the full path. Then here I used R as the mode. R is for read. Although it is by default, other options are W for write, A for append. W is for write, that is from our program to writing into the file. Writing means a new file will be opened and it will start writing. The existing content will be automatically erased and the writing part will be starting from the first. If you are using append mode, then it will be joined in the existing mode, that is existing content. Look at the example. My file equal open d my data pom.txt r. Here my text file is stored in what? In the local disk D. Within that I am having a folder like my data. Within that folder only I had stored file. What is the file name I used here? POM. P-O-E-M. And what is the mode? R I used. At the time of giving a path for a file, we must use double slash in the place of single slash. Because in Python, single slash is used for escape sequence and it may cause problem like if folder name is Nitin and we provide path as d-nitin pom, then in slash n Nitin, that is slash n will become escape character for new line. So always use double slash in path. That is the only thing you should have to aware about giving the file path. Then there is another solution for this problem, that is using R before the path, making the string as row string, that is no special meaning attached to any character. So look at that. R, which is given in the second example, my file is equal to open. Within that bracket I had begins with the R, then file path, comma, R as the mode. Then how to handle the file? Then in the above example, my file is the file object or file handle or file pointer holding the reference of a disk file. my file. That is nothing but the file object. In Python, we will access and manipulate the disk file through this file handle only, my file. My dear children, look at the file access modes. What are all the things we are having for text file and binary file? For text file, we are having RWA. That is already I had discussed. R for reading, W for writing, A for appending. Look at the description which I had given for W. File is in write mode only. New data will be added to the end of existing data. That is no overwriting. If file not exist is created. My dear children, R, W and A are only used for text files. Then R plus, that means read and write. W plus, that means write and read. Then A plus, which is very similar to that, append, reading and writing, and appending happens. So either you can use R for reading or R plus, W or W plus, A or A plus for text files. And for binary files, look at the modes which I had given. RB, that is read only. File must exist, otherwise Python erase IO errors, that is input output errors. For reading, the file should be present, that is it must be exist in the disk. And for writing, if the file not exist in your disk, the Python interpreter automatically creates a new file and start writing. RW represents write in binary. WB represents write in binary, read in binary, append in binary. Like that we are having R plus B or RB plus, W plus B or WB plus. Very similar to the text file functions, reading and writing, appending happens. Then how to close a file? It is very simple, the file object dot close function. As reference of disk file is stored in file handle, so to close we must call close function through the file handle and release the file. Now open function is built-in function used standalone, while close must be called through file handle. My dear children, open is a standalone function, there is no need of object is needed. But for closing, it is not a standalone function, that is why we are using myfile.close. That is, that particular file must be closed. If you are having one or more files in your program, and if you want to close only one particular file, then how to identify it? Using the file object name. That is why the point is given. The close function is not a standalone function. That is why you have to use myfile along with it. I think you are all clear about what is opening, what is writing and reading we will discuss in later. Then how to close a file. Before writing or reading we need to open the file. After writing and reading we need to close the file. In the upcoming modules we will discuss more about files. Thank you.